got a pretty cool episode. We're going to have me busting the LEGO Hulkbuster. I'm going to talk a little bit about how many bosses I've had over the course of my career at LEGO. The Beijing store, I'm going to share some of the design that I've worked on and have some cool fly-through for the Beijing store. And I'm gonna talk about Cub Scouts and the only award I've ever received as a child. And then lastly, I'm gonna share a little bit on the Optimus Prime Lego set. And if you haven't seen that set, it's pretty cool. And talk a little bit about that.
Just go ahead and we'll just edit the crap out of it. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna filter out the swears? Okay, good. Because I'm gonna swear like a friggin' trucker. Although I just said friggin'. Should I address the camera or should I just act normal? Wrapping up the week, right?
Okay, it's been a while since we've done an episode of Mondays with Chad, and we've been focusing an awful lot on the shorts. Brianna actually had lost her job at Travelers, and it was pretty rough, and shame on you, Travelers. I've always been a State Farm kind of guy, so we decided to put a lot of effort into the YouTube page while she's looking for work, and she's keeping herself busy. Putting lots of shorts up there, and figured it was actually a really great way to get people familiar with the crazy amount of toys that I have, and maybe catch a laugh or two, because in the end it's sort of fun and we want to show the toys. So I have so many, and I'm just going to keep putting them up there. We're not sure what we're going to do, but I'm kind of excited about the potential. And so if you see a lot of activity on the channel, it's all because of Brianna. She is going all out. Been working an awful lot on stores in China for the last actually like year and a half, 2 years. One of the stores that opened was in Beijing. The process that we start for creating these stores really starts with the storyline. That's one of my responsibilities, to create the red thread concept. We work a lot with the local partners on things that resonate and things that don't resonate. They give us lots of sort of references, but there's still a lot of research that we have to do into the area. And then we take everything that we come up with, and then we put it in that sort of Lego world. And then we tell that story in the store in a Lego way. The front facade of the new Beijing store actually has an illumination effect where it's basically a graphic, and then there's these LED panels behind it, and they animate this really cool fireworks display. We had this fire corridor for the mall. It's this entire run where you can't put anything inside it, and it runs straight through the store. So I ended up coming up with this idea where it is the interior of a temple. There's a lot of temples that are in China that have like columns on the side, which this happened to have as well. So we dressed it all up and made it look like a temple kind of entrance, and give it lots of Lego characteristics to it. And it became a real feature for the store rather than this horrible obstacle. We take the base sort of formula for a Lego store, and then we add all these cultural influences to it. We add 3D models, we add scenes, and lots of artwork, and it's a lot of work, and it is a lot of fun. And this store is pretty colorful. You know, I think the store came out really well, and I wanted to share it all with you guys. I'm gonna bust the Hulkbuster. Oh, hang on a second. If I bust the Hulkbuster, does that make me Hulk? I should have worn my green shirt. I'm not critiquing a Lego set that is currently active for fear of retribution, which would likely come. The most important part of any figure really is the area around the face and the authenticity around these areas. And this is the part I have the biggest sort of trouble with. How different this profile is. The way the shoulders come up around the head and then come down and then form this, it has this shape is so important to the Hulkbuster feel, because he feels tougher and badder, and it feels like he's wearing armor. The Lego version is such a variation of this. I believe that that's why it didn't do as well as it could have, because the sculpt just isn't right. It's not right for Hulkbuster, and I am like a huge Hulkbuster fan, but this is correct. This is correct how the head sits down in. I know that you can't make everything perfect in Lego, but the proportions are just wrong. And it frustrates me because that set could have been so much better. And it probably was. What ends up happening a lot of times with these is that they look really great in the first review, and then somebody comes along and says they need to decrease the number of elements by 1,000 elements, and the poor designer who made a masterpiece has now got to take it down a notch and make it with fewer parts. And generally that's the point where it starts to lose some of these details. But I just feel like this was just so disappointing that the Hulkbuster Lego set just missed the mark. Part of the 25th anniversary, everyone who reaches this milestone, and not many do. I gotta be honest. There's a wall of pictures of people who are 20, 30 years, and it is sparse. I'm going on 19 bosses in my almost 26 years. That's a lot of bosses. I tell every boss, you are my ... number boss, and there will be another boss after you. And I know that sounds terrible, but I just want them to know, needless to say, I'm a difficult employee to manage, if you haven't figured that out. Sorry, I know I ramble, and I apologize if you have left the channel because of the rambling. Then Brianna didn't do a very good job editing out the ramble. So that's on her, not on me. Gosh, there's so much stuff that's gone on since the last episode. I think I did a $6 Million Man episode. It was like 46 minutes long, and then I cut it in 2 pieces, and it got blocked by YouTube. I didn't even realize it got blocked because of all the cutscenes that I put in it. I was getting a little crazy. It was before Brianna was helping me. I was just doing it on my own. So they're pretty choppy because Brianna had to go in order to get it so it wasn't blocked. She had to take all the stuff out. And I think she did a pretty good job putting it back together. But I had a lot more stuff. It was chock full of stuff in there. Mostly clips from the show, $6 Million Man, which apparently nobody is really that into unless you're my age and you probably aren't watching YouTube. So I'm not even sure what I'm doing. Yeah. When I was a kid back in 1975, I was a Cub Scout. My favorite thing about Cub Scouts was the donuts, the munchkins, and the orange drink. Couldn't look too eager though, you know. You had to play it cool. We had to play it cool. Oh, donuts. I'll have one. Or 7. My dad was the scoutmaster for a little while, and he had me go into these classes for this special merit badge thing that no one else was doing. I don't know. I just did it because he's like, all right, okay, we'll go do it. And I barely passed because I ended up getting this special award in it says 1976, but it's actually 1975. I won the Cub Scout of the Year. And it was a little controversial because I was not a Weeblo, which is the higher level. Those are the older Cub Scouts. They're way smarter and cooler. Tony, my brother, was a Weeblo. He did not win Cub Scout of the Year. So there was all like, what could I... Well, I remember accepting the award, like just kind of being like, why is everybody so upset? I don't know. Because my dad was a Scoutmaster. It looked like he put the fix in for his son, which I was like, why didn't you just pick Tony? He would be easier to give the award to. Probably the only thing I ever won or any achievement I ever obtained, probably until I was in college. Optimus Prime Lego set in all the years, and it's an amazing set. I mean, it's just... It transforms. It's incredible. This was a year ago that this came out, so you probably can't really find it anywhere other than maybe eBay. But it's because the idea of Hasbro and Lego working together, this right here, in all the years that I have worked at Lego, there was no chance of that ever happening. For the longest time, they were our direct competitor. There was lots of ire between the two. They just they couldn't possibly imagine that they could be working together. But the fact is, the market is becoming more and more challenging for all toy manufacturers. The toy market is shrinking. It gets smaller and smaller every year, even despite things like Barbie movie and what you'd think would drive people back to toys has been relatively unsuccessful in doing so. And the only growth that we've seen so far in the toy market is in adults, the adult toys, which this is one. The idea that children's toys are becoming less and less popular, they're becoming less predominant on the toy store shelves, is a scary thing. And all the innovation and the fun and the playfulness happens in the children's toys. So I hope that we can get people more interested in toys. I hope that that the shrinking doesn't continue much further, because we may not have as many choices for toys on the shelves as we used to going forward. All right, that's it for this episode. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed some or all of this, whatever that we're doing. We're going to be doing a lot more in this space. We're going to be creating a lot more interesting sort of bits of content. Poor Brianna, I feel like she may be a little burned out with the shorts, but we're going to try to connect some things, and I think we're going to have some fun with it. I hope that you guys will come along for the ride. Please subscribe. We definitely need the subscribers. You know, it's never easy, but I really appreciate anyone who hasn't subscribed. If you could just hit that subscribe button. I'll catch you later.